How is last season affecting Tottenham this season? This tweet was from James Moore of The Athletic. So he said this Spurs team is still suffering from the rot they set in last season. They don't look bothered about losing matches in terms of approach and intensity, and Frank might not have the personality to change this. So basically what it does mean is that Tottenham last season, they got so used to losing games and just kind of being praised for it and not really receiving much kind of backlash or negativity from it, especially from the manager, because as they said, they threw the league so early on this calendar year that their full focus on the Europa League, so therefore Premier League and everything else just went out of their mind. That doesn't matter anymore. I always thought that the throwing a league statement was a bit of an excuse. It was a cop-out to mask over the bad performances, and the win in the cup was a kind of easy way to paper over it all. But this is true. The players, they're so used to losing or having negative games now where they kind of lose a game or things don't go their way and they kind of get a bad reaction for it or a negative reaction for it, and they don't like it. Every time we watch these players come out now onto the stadium, they look scared to play at home. I've never seen a team be scared to actually play at their home stadium before, ever. But these Spurs players now, because they got so used to kind of being like, oh no, it doesn't matter about the results today, carry on, we got a Europa League game coming up. Because there was so much of that, they were just kind of like not really facing any like punishment or backlash, drop for the next game, whatever, because of a bad performance. Because the players just turn up, go home, and it doesn't really matter because this isn't our main priority. But that's why we're seeing so much reaction from the players now at half time, full time, which sees them so kind of argumentative with each other, the manager and the fans, which is just like, these are the consequences for your actions finally that you have to actually front now. The consequences last season for the poor performances ended up in a trophy, so of course they're going to feel like, okay, well, we deliver that, so therefore everything's forgiven, I guess. There's like, okay, there's always that in the background going on, so what actually happens in the Premier League on the pitch doesn't really matter. But to a lot of the Spurs fans it does, because they're the ones paying to go and watch the team every week just not turn up at all. And that's why I can never kind of let it go, because it was a lot of time and money wasted just to go there to turn up and leave just feeling empty. So now this season, when the players do put in a big stinker of a performance, they're almost surprised that the fact that the fans are reacting negatively to it. There's no Europa League or cup run in the background at the minute to hint at, be like, oh no, we got that over there, we got that to deal with. It's just kind of like, oh, we have to front this now. And they don't have what it takes to obviously front criticism, especially when it's warranted in times like this. In terms of Frank not having the personality to change it, I mean, I see it. He's not a big, ugly, mean guy like, Mourinho and Conte. He's not going to start digging out his players here and there. We've seen him countless times now protect his players, even if that means upsetting some fans, especially with the you're not a true fan quote and all stuff like that. But he needs to work some magic, or at least show something which shows that the players can get some fight in them. He needs to bring the feeling back into the players, where they should be bothered about losing matches, they should be bothered about performances, and they should want to change it, and then, who knows, win a game. Because once they do win a game or put in some good performances, then the players will get rewarded, they'll get cheered, they'll get clapped, they'll do whatever, and that will continue, and the atmosphere will build and build. But if you're just putting in shoddy, dodgy performances, which just is an endless cycle of loss, draw, loss. We've only seen 3 wins. Do they want the fans to kind of clap them off every time? No. It's something that should be expected, and that's why they look so scared when they are on that pitch. This mindset and approach that the players take, and Frank has to take, otherwise it's not going to work out. We have to see it changing, and we have to kind of see it fast, because Brentford at home at the weekend, that's a big one for Frank. Obviously, having left Brentford, he should be at a level where he's above that. Otherwise, what was the point in stepping up? There's no point in stepping up to a club and then still being beaten by the club which you just left. So there's a lot to do, and this mindset and approach that the players take, and Frank has to take, otherwise it's not going to work out. We have to see it changing, and we have to kind of see it fast, because Brentford at home at the weekend, that's a big one for Frank. Obviously, having left Brentford, he should be at a level where he's above that. Otherwise, what was the point in stepping up? There's no point in stepping up to a club and then still being beaten by the club which you just left. So there's a lot to do, and the players and the manager, it's not kind of looking promising what they're offering to us.